Hola y buenos días. This is Stephen French from alevelsspanish.co.uk with another translation tip or a top translation tip. So, at the top of the page here, this is the sentence that I'm going to translate into Spanish. So it's next year I'm going to Mexico and I will watch the celebrations of El Día de los Muertos on the 1st of December. And this is my translation. El año próximo voy a ir a México y voy a ver las celebraciones del Día de los Muertos el primer día de noviembre. So let's get stuck in. So let's split this up, and the first chunk I've got is el año próximo. Now, el año próximo is the next year, and it's a standard GCSE Spanish phrase. And of course, the adjective próximo is going after the noun that it is describing and is in the masculine because el año is masculine. And also note before we move on that the accents are in the right place. I suggest that when you are doing the translation that your handwriting is nice and clear and the tilde on the N is nice and clear, so it's el año, nice and clear, and the accent, I'll just highlight that for you. There's the tilde there, and there is the highlight on the O. So that's the first bit, el año próximo. The second chunk, as I like to call it, is I'm going to Mexico, and what we have here is voy a ir a México. Voy a ir a México. So I'm going to Mexico. Voy a ir a México. Or iré a México. So in the first one, I've used the immediate future. So there you are. I can see I'm just highlighting it there. So that's the immediate future using the parts of the present tense of the verb ir. Voy, vas, va, vamos, vais, van. And of course here we're using the word voy. And so that's the voy a ir, I'm going to go. Or you could use just iré, which is I will go. And of course there's an accent on Mexico in Spanish. So they're the 2 points I'd like to make there. Now just continuing on the third chunk, and I will watch the celebrations. So in Spanish I'm going to go for y voy a ver las celebraciones, or veré las celebraciones. So the veré is just the formation of the future tense. If you're not certain on this, I do suggest that you look into one of the very good Spanish grammar books. The one I've got in my hand here is the Spanish Grammar for A-Level, which is very good, by, I'm just having a look, Phil Turk and Mike Thoyo, or Mike Zollo. And there you get the information on how to form the future tense. Also another useful online tip is verbix.com. So that's www.verbix.com. If you go on that, you can see it lays out quite nicely all the ways that verbs are formed. So, or you could do the alternative, which is the immediate future, as I've just gone through. Then I'm looking at the word las celebraciones. I think there are 2 points here. Firstly, all words ending in CIO accent N are feminine in Spanish. So it would be in the singular la celebración. But what happens when this word goes into the plural, the accent is lost. The reason being that when a word ends in S or N, or a vowel, the stress is on the last syllable but one. So when celebración goes to celebraciones, automatically the stress is on the last syllable but one, that's to say the O, and therefore an accent is not required. And then just moving on to the last but one chunk of El Día de los Muertos, El Día de los Muertos. So there we've got de plus el forming del, and of course it is el día. dia in Spanish is masculine, notwithstanding the fact that it actually ends in an A. And then finally, the last chunk, on the first day of November, el primer día de noviembre. Firstly, the translation of on, you don't need to use the word on in Spanish, you just use the word el. The second part here is the apocopation of primero. Now, apocopation is just a flash way of saying, or a grammatical way of saying, that you knock off the O of primer when it's in front of the noun that it's describing. So in this case, primero goes to primer. And the last point really is that noviembre, the N is lowercase because all the months of the year are lowercase in Spanish. So that just about wraps it up. And just to finish, I'll just go through it again. So it just says, el año próximo voy a ir a México y voy a ver las celebraciones del Día de los Muertos el primer día de noviembre. So there you have it. Hope you found that useful, and look forward to seeing you again shortly on the internet. Hasta luego, amigos míos.